Follow me as we go deep into the Science Corner. Science. Whoa! We got explosions back? Woo! Welcome to this week's Science Corner. Today we're going to be talking about corrosion. Corrosion is the degradation of a material's properties by chemical and/or electrochemical reaction within the environment. Corrosion of metals takes place through electrochemical reactions in what's called the electrochemical cell. The electrochemical cell can either generate electricity from chemical reactions, the battery of your car for example, or a device that uses electrical energy to cause chemical reactions. For today's Science Corner, we'll be focusing on the latter. A different way of explaining this is that electrochemical cells are capable of converting chemical energy into electric energy, or vice versa. In the case of metal corrosion, the reactions are electrochemical in nature because of the transfer of charge. Before we get started, here are a few definitions to help us understand the process. Anode, the site where electrons are produced. In the following examples, this is where metal loss occurs. The loss of electrons lets the metal migrate into the environment. Cathode, the site where electrons are consumed. For every electron produced at an anodic site, an electron is consumed at the cathodic site. Electrolyte. No, not Gatorade. Electrolytes are solutions that carry an electric charge. Conductor. A metallic path for the electrons to flow from the anodic site to the cathodic site. The migration occurs due to a voltage difference between the two reactions. Electrons move easily through metal, but not through air or pure water. Here is an example of an anodic reaction. Metal loss occurs when metal atoms give up one or more electrons and move into the electrolyte as positively charged ions. This type of reaction is considered oxidation because of the increase in positive charge. The most common anodic reaction is the formation of rust. Cathodic reactions, the electrons that are produced at the anodic sites are then consumed at the cathodic site. This type of reaction is considered a reduction because they consume electrons. The reduced ion becomes more negatively charged, but can still end up positively, negatively, or even neutral in charge. Basic types of corrosion inhibitors include organic and inorganic. Organics contain polar groups of oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, or sulfur. Inorganic examples include nitrites, nitrates, chromates, dichromates, phosphates, things of that nature. Organics contain polar groups of oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, or sulfur. Examples of corrosion inhibitors are sodium nitrate and potassium dichromate. These were used widely in the 1930s and 40s, were found to cause cancer, so they're being phased out. Metal sulfonates such as sodium sulfonate, magnesium sulfonate, and calcium sulfonate are widely used but produce ash. The search for low ash alternatives for corrosion inhibitors has opened up the playbook quite a bit. There are many new corrosion inhibitors being formed every day. Some of those include glycols and ethers, amines, amides, amine salts, and carboxylic salts. We know not to use those because of the IDIDs, remember? Heterocyclic nitrogen compounds, polymers. Combinations and synergies of different corrosion inhibitors produce different results. Some work by the way of emulsion, some by demulsion, some are better in the presence of water. The two main mechanisms of corrosion inhibitors are anodic inhibitors and cathodic inhibitors. Anodic inhibitors form a protective oxide film on the metal surface. It's a controlled corrosion. The cathodic inhibitors slow down the flow of electrons from the anode to the cathode. I hope you enjoyed this explosive version of Science Corner, and be back next week where Kyle is actually going to do the Science Corner instead of me. Back to you, me.